Mia. Hello, Janelle. And guests. And Elise, do we have you on the phone? I'm not sure who the 646-207 number is.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we're going to need everyone to identify themselves. We had some bombing last week, so we definitely need everyone to identify themselves.
Is that Ronald? Is that you? Can't tell. It's from Samsung. I can only see the top of your head, Samsung. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that gentleman is from our OCM applicant.
Understood. Thank you, Mia.
Definitely get people identified. The 646 number, 646-207-8670. Could you please identify yourself?
Welcome, Officer Connors.
Hi, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Doing well, no
Good
complaints here.
evening.
Looking forward to hearing from you. We'll get started shortly. It's only 7:02. Probably give it a few minutes just to
Sure.
let some other members of the committee trickle in. Here, we seem to have lots of guests with us tonight. I know that we have lots of liquor license applications as well.
Perfect. Alrighty, sounds good. Just let me know when you guys are ready.
Sounds good. Thank you. For other folks, it'd be super helpful, similar to Ms. Sanchez, if you could put the name of your business, if you're here representing a business in your the title of your name.
I know Mr. Palillo is a representative for the one of the applicants.
Good evening,
Sarah and
everyone.
Andrew.
Good evening. Sarah and Andrew and Elena Patton and Gavin Whiston. Not sure who you're representing today.
Hi, sorry, sorry to interrupt. This is Nicole Thompson and Elena Patton from GRBD Incorporated.
Thank you. Helpful. All right, I feel like we probably have a critical mass here of folks, certainly at least to allow Officer Connors to share some information with us. Mia, if you wouldn't mind just sending out a quick email to the other members of the committee, reminding them to join us so that we have a quorum and can vote once the liquor license applicants come on board. So far, I'm only seeing 2 of our members, myself and Janelle. I'm not sure if anybody else from the committee, but I'm going to talk a little bit through our agenda. First of all, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Primo Lasana. I'm the chair of the Public Safety Committee for Brooklyn's Community Board 9. Excited to welcome you here tonight. We are, just to walk through our agenda, we are going to start off with a community safety report from Officer Connors at the 71st Precinct. From there, we are going to hear applicants for a variety of applications stemming both from the Office of Cannabis Management to the State Liquor Authority. And then we will talk, we'll at the end of that, we'll do a vote on each one of the applicants as to whether to pass them along to the larger community board. And then we'll adjourn our meeting. So really just going to start off with Officer Connors here, sharing some information with us about safety in the 71st. So Officer Connors, the floor is yours to share some information with us. And then I have 1 or 2 questions for you once you're finished.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. I am Police Officer Connors. I am the Community Affairs Officer for the 71st Precinct. So I won't waste any time. It seems like we have a lot on our plate tonight, so I'll just dive right into it. So we have crime-wise, for the year to date, we are down in almost everything of the 7 major crimes. So that's murder, rape, felony assaults, robbery, burglary, grand larceny, and grand larceny's auto, so stolen vehicles. We are down in murder, we are down in robbery, we are down in felony assaults, we are down in burglaries, and we are down in stolen vehicles. We did see an uptick in grand larceny so far this year. We've taken 153 reports for a grand larceny, excuse me, as opposed to 133 at this point last year. Rapes as well, we've taken 8 complaint reports in regards to rapes this year as opposed to 4 last year. So that is a rise of basically doubled from last year at this time. Shooting wise, we have taken 4 shootings in total this year where someone has shot and hit another person. It does count as a felony assault, but they also had it broken down in our crime stats as its own type of crime as well. Taken 4 compared to 7 last year. So overall, we are down 11.38% in major crimes this year, which is pretty good compared to last year. Over the last 3 years, we've seen a steady decline in crime in our precinct, which is making it safer. So I know Inspector Hayward, the commanding officer, is very, very happy about that. There's always work that still does need to be done, though, where we can improve these numbers on the public safety aspect. The grand larceny uptick stems from things such as mailbox phishing and package thefts. So if you are someone who has to mail your checks for mortgages, car payments, things like that, and you can afford to take the extra time to bring it yourself to the post office as opposed to putting it in a mailbox, you could save yourself a lot of headaches. We've seen a lot different victims of crimes like this. For example, we did have someone who lives in Ebbets Fields who put a check for, I believe it was $300 in the mailbox right in front of 1680 Bedford Avenue. That's probably one of our biggest mailbox in the 7-1. We get the most mail there, I believe. She put a $300 check in there. I believe a week or so later, she checked her bank account and somebody took, I believe, $3,000 out of her bank account. They were able to get their hands on the check from the mailbox, forge it to put their name on it, and add an extra 0. So very unfortunately, she was a victim to mailbox phishing. So like I said, in order to prevent things like that, you can bring it directly to the post office. And again, that'll save you, although it'll cost you a little bit of time, it'll save you more of a headache than anything. Package thefts are also still arising in our commands, especially at apartment buildings or private houses that have porches where UPS or FedEx or Amazon will just leave it there and kind of leave. For that, to supplement that, we do have areas in our precinct along Flatbush Avenue, Bedford Avenue, there are main corridors where you can have stuff delivered to them. Like, for example, I believe the Rite Aid on Bedford, I can look it up for you guys. I believe it's still a place where you can deliver packages there and pick it up from there. That way somebody's always watching your package. But Other than that, I know a lot of complaints, not really crime wise, but quality of life. A lot of people complain at the last community council meeting about e-bikes, bicycles, motorbikes being driven on the sidewalks. Since January 1st of 2023, we have issued a total of 265 moving violation summonses to people on bicycles, e-bikes, mopeds, motorbikes, scooters. Basically, any infraction that a car can commit, somebody on a bicycle or an e-bike would also be able to commit. So running red lights, running stop signs, riding on the sidewalk, things like that. I know it sounds a little weird, but it's still very dangerous. God forbid someone riding a bicycle is not looking and there's a red light and a car is coming there not paying too much attention. It could lead to something that's very catastrophic. So our traffic enforcement officers have been out there night and day enforcing that. And before enforcing, they usually like to educate people, especially the delivery drivers who are working at the local food store where they are just getting on their e-bike and they do go on the sidewalks. Usually the traffic enforcement officers will pull them over and kind of educate them like you know you're not allowed to ride on the sidewalk. It's very dangerous for pedestrians. Other than that, the chief of patrol's office for the NYPD has done a citywide initiative. This is taking place every weekend so far, where they are taking illegal e-bikes and motorbikes off the street. So if they aren't registered, if they're not allowed to be driven on the street, this is a citywide initiative, like I said. So there are some weekends where a lot of resources are in the Bronx. There are some weekends where a lot of resources are devoted to Brooklyn, basically where officers go out, and if they see somebody driving recklessly on an e-bike or a motorbike, they'll stop them. And if there's not proper registration, or if the bike is not allowed to be driven on a public street, they will take the bike from them and voucher them at the precinct until they get proper paperwork for them. So other than that, that's pretty much all I have in regards to crime as well as quality of life conditions. But if anybody has anything for me, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm at your disposal.
Thank you. Appreciate the comprehensive update, and I think speaks to some of the concerns that folks have voiced, particularly around folks riding these e-bikes on the sidewalks, as well as I think a larger complaint, which is, you know, their lack of adherence to traffic laws in the streets themselves. So like blowing through red lights, you know, somebody's coming around a corner and e-bike blows by you or hits you, is a concern that we've certainly heard. I think in general, there have been some concerns about the quality of driving and the adherence to traffic laws, period, in Brooklyn since the pandemic. So that's something. Then we also had two folks come to our last meeting. I think somebody came with an interest. There was some sort of jewelry store robbery, maybe on like Flatbush or something like that, that made the news. Has there been any progress with that particular incident? Somebody got hit too, the owner, right?
Yeah, from what I can recall, that was earlier in the year. That was we're going on probably about 2 or so months. I can look further into it. I don't have any information now, but that's something that our detectives, as long as from what I understand, the FBI were also looking into. So if they did catch someone, I believe it is in regards to federal charges, not city and state charges. But like I said, I have my computer up here, so if you just give me a moment, I can look into that, see if there is any update that I would be able to provide. It would take me a few minutes though, so if you would like, we can definitely come back to it.
Take your time, hang out. We can come back to it. And then the second kind of list of questions / complaints came about a club essentially at 510 Flatbush Avenue called Gaia No Maya. And so like the residents in that building have lobbied a number of noise complaints. I'm wondering, one, if you have any background on kind of what the noise complaints look like there, and then also if there's any advice that you would give to residents around lobby. I've never heard as many noise complaints as I have about this one particular location, and so if there's any guidance that you can give, you know, to the community members around there who have been lodging complaints, would be helpful.
Right. So what I can understand about that location is it is a restaurant during the day and early evening. At night, it does turn into more of a club atmosphere, more of a bar than a club, I believe. But from what I've heard from community residents is that late at night they just blast the music, sound travels up through the building, causing people to be disrupted. Our neighborhood coordination officers have been looking into this vigorously since the start of the year. And will continue to do so. As the summer months approach, the the precinct is going to dedicate, I believe, from what I can understand, more than one vehicle, more resources essentially to answering 311 jobs. So I would ask the people of the community to continue to call 311. If you'd like, I can put your local neighborhood coordination officers' phone numbers and email addresses in the chat for everybody to see. For
We unfortunately don't
whoever
have a
covers.
chat, but if you could email the board office,
Oh,
that would
sure,
be
absolutely, and then
that'd be
forward it
good.
to the powers that be. Absolutely.
Great. That's helpful. Thank you, Officer Connors. I also see Melissa has a hand raised. Melissa, why don't you go for it if you have a question?
Yes, hi. No, I wanted to ask about that bus that was lodged into the beauty salon on Clarkson Avenue. If we knew what happened like, how did that happen?
So from what I can understand and what I saw from just what came over the radio dispatcher, that happened very, very early in the morning, around 3 to 5 a.m. from what I can understand. And it kind of sounded like the bus as well as another vehicle were both coming. One of them had the red light, one of them did not. And the car or the truck hit into the bus, causing the bus to kind of get onto the sidewalk and go through the beauty salon. So I can look further into that as well, looking at the accident report, if you give me a moment. But that happened earlier in the week. From what I can understand, there was nobody, the injuries were not traumatic, thankfully. I do understand there is damage to the business front. However, thankfully, nobody was seriously hurt, which is the most important thing.
Great. Thanks for the question, Melissa, and thanks for the response, Officer Connors. So I know that we do have, I'll take 2 seconds just to see if anybody else has additional questions. But if not, what we should do is move along to our first applicant, which is for the Office of Cannabis Management. And that is Flatbush Exotic, which is hoping to open its business at 544 Flatbush Avenue. For folks who are on the call who might have interest, as well as the applicant themselves, from a process perspective, this is obviously a very new business to Brooklyn. If you were not aware, it was kind of held up in the courts at the state level for the county that is Kings County, and that has gone past the courts and is now open in Brooklyn to take applications. This will be our first applicant from the Office of Cannabis Management. Our committee is currently working on a questionnaire that we're developing for all applicants, but there is also a formal application that has been submitted by Flatbush Exotic. I'd say bear with us. We want to get this right the first time, but we also want to move as expediently as possible for our applicants. And so I believe Samsung SM S991U is our applicant for this license. So if you would like to tell us a little bit about your application, about yourself, about your business, that would be a great place to start. I know they were with us, but seem to have walked away from their phone for a moment.
Yeah, he is here. I believe there's another Francis Yali is also connected to the application.
So if either applicant would like to speak, that would be helpful. If you're not ready, we can come back to you, but I'm not hearing anything from either phone.
It seems like he stepped away from his computer.
Yep. All right, we'll come back to it. So then next up on our agenda is La Nueva Estrella de Castillo at 948. Are you back with us, sir? I don't even think you can hear me. Can you hear me? No? Okay.
I'm not even sure if he knows you're speaking to him. The OCM applicant, Mr. Yali.
I'm getting
We
no,
can't hear you.
can't hear you. We're getting no audio from you. I'm also not getting audio from Ms. Sanchez. So, do we have any representatives from Gruit by Abe's?
Mr. Leone? Avi?
I can't hear
Yep.
anything from Avi either. Is there
Hello.
something with the, oh,
Yeah, hi. My name is
Okay.
Matt Leone. I'm here for Gruit by Abe's, and I see Avi is here also. Avi, we're not getting the audio.
yeah.
Can you hear me?
No audio, but we're getting audio from Matt. So Matt, if you would like to kick us off, please feel free to.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. Yeah, so I'm representing Gruit by Abe's. There are two owners. Avi is one, and Abe Scheinfeld is the second owner. Excuse me. They're in the process of taking over an existing restaurant at that location. The restaurant that's been there is called Gruit, and because of Abe's involvement, it's going to be Gruit by Abe's. The location is 252 Empire Boulevard on the corner of Rogers Avenue. The existing restaurant has been there for approximately, I think it's about 4 years. Abe and Avi are going to take it over. It's going to be basically a kosher restaurant with I think you have a copy of the menu. It's a pretty cool menu, but mainly steaks, burgers, salads, that type of thing, with appetizers and desserts. The hours are Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. And it's closed. The restaurant will be closed Fridays and Saturdays. The interior of the restaurant, there are 14 tables, 55 seats. Outside, there's 6 tables and 15 seats. But I think what I just want to clarify I think the outdoor area is it's kind of the side area on Empire, between the restaurant and the building next door. It's a fully enclosed area. It's been there. It's part of the existing restaurant. So these guys really are just looking to come in, basically run a similar operation. Like I said, the limited hours of really is just 5 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. In terms of the operation, it's going to be recorded music only. There's no DJs, no dancing, no live music, nothing like that. Abe has experience in the restaurant industry. He currently has another restaurant that opened in 2020 at 674 Rogers Avenue. And Abe is going to devote most of his time to the new restaurant to get that up and going, with also with Avi's help. Avi will be mainly involved in the more like the back of the house stuff, where Abe is going to be taking care of the cooking and all of that. What else? I mean, those that's the basic information. If you have questions or you have additional information that you'd like, that's what we're here for, and we'd like to provide you with the information.
So Thank you. Just 2 weeks ago, we approved Gruett's liquor license under its
Yep.
current ownership.
Right,
And
right.
so I think this is news to us, that it's gonna be going under new ownership. I think one thing that would be helpful would be to understand some of the differences between the application that you've just submitted and the application that was just approved 2 weeks ago. And I'm not sure about, from a process perspective, why it needs to happen, but I guess if the liquor license needs to go under the owner's name is what I'm assuming.
Right, yeah, the liquor license that the current owners have, yeah, that's right, that's all, everything is going to be transferred to the new owners, to Avi and to
Right.
Abe,
Okay,
right? So
Uh,
I guess the current, right, the current owners, their liquor license was soon expiring, so they needed to renew the liquor license that they have, so that our, application and everything, it's going to take a while. With the liquor authority, it's at least several months, if not more. So their liquor license, the current liquor license, needed to be renewed so that when Avi and Abe take over, there'll be generally like a seamless transition, so that that they could come in, and the current place could stay open until the transfer happens.
right, okay. The only difference I'm seeing between the two applications at a quick glance is the hours just extended by 30 minutes. Are there other pieces that I'm missing and we'll see on further review? Did you see their application?
I haven't seen their application.
Got it. I think that it's mostly similar. I think you're changing the menu, I believe. And you're applying for a full license, right?
Correct.
Liquor
Yes.
beer.
Right. And my
other-
understanding is it is a full liquor license.
That's what they have.
Currently.
Yeah, they currently have a full liquor license.
Right.
I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem with the extra 30 minutes added on from a time perspective. Otherwise, everything looks to be the same. My only advice to you would be have the owner come to the community board meeting when we do this. It's
Okay,
rare that the board is willing to vote on a license without an owner present.
okay. All right,
so-
very good. We'll be there.
Okay, sounds good. And
Thank you.
again, from a process perspective, unfortunately, because what you're experiencing right now and what all the applicants are going to be experiencing is that the community board term just ended for half of our members on their 2-year term. So we have less community board members, committee members here present currently for this to be a quorum. So we don't currently have a quorum, but what's going to happen is that I will make a recommendation to the executive committee for the presentation to go to the larger community board. So you'll have to wait a little bit longer until after the executive committee to have confirmation that you've been invited to the larger community board meeting.
Okay.
And then the community board will vote as a whole. Mia, correct me if I'm wrong on any of that.
Nope, you're completely correct. So yeah, we'll be reaching out after next week.
Okay,
Okay.
well, Yakov just joined us, so maybe that makes 3 out of 5. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
Okay, so we may be
Rabbi
able-
Berman has entered, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Berman is here, so we may be able to vote at the end of this session. So if you want to stick around, you're welcome to. If you need to go, I completely understand. I don't think that there's well, now Yaakov is gone. So I would say we'll make our recommendations and you'll hear from the community board office.
Okay,
Primo,
great. Oh,
Tessa, yes.
Primo,
go.
this is Tessa. I'm not sure whether or not I'm still on the board. Could Ms. Hilton provide some clarity? on
Yes,
that?
good evening, Mrs. Hackavira. Yes, you would not on the updated roll that we received from Borough Hall.
Yeah, I wondered what happened. I don't know if I didn't reapply when I was supposed to, or I'm not sure.
I'm
what
not
happened.
very sure, but you can reach out tomorrow. We can talk offline.
Very good.
Thank you.
We need you, Tessa, so
Yeah, no, I called Fred already, but I don't know.
All right, okay, well, hopefully you get it sorted out. Okay, Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate it. I think seeing no other questions, we can move on to another applicant.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Yep, sure. That
Good
is
night.
granted that folks now have audio possibilities, so go back to you, Ms. Sanchez. Can we hear you yet? There's no, we're not getting any audio from your phone, so you're talking, but we can't hear you. Still no audio, no. You might have to leave and call back in.
Yeah, her audio was there for a moment because I saw it, but it's not there now.
Yeah, I would leave and
Ms.
come back.
Sanchez, leave the meeting and come back, Ms. Sanchez.
And if you have headphones, I would use them too.
Definitely.
We got no audio. Okay, GRBD, I know is here and has audio capabilities. So GRBD, take it away.
Good evening. My name is Frank Palillo. How are you all?
Doing well, thank you.
Guys, could you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Nicole Thompson. I am co-owner of GRBD Incorporated.
And I'm Annalise Whiston. I'm also co-owner of GRBD.
And I'm Elena Patton, and I'm the consulting chef.
Great, nice to meet you all. I'm
Nice
Primo,
meeting you.
the chair of the Public Safety Committee. And we have some other members of our committee here as well, Janelle Basil Charles and Tessa, at this point, board member emeritus. So how this process works and what we'd love to do is just hear a little bit from you about your application. For anybody who is a member of the committee, the application is attached to the email that you received from the community board office. And what we'd love to hear a little bit about is your business, how it came to be, what your involvement is with the community, and then some details around your liquor license application, kind of what the hours will be, what kind of liquor license you're applying for, what kind of sound is going to be coming from the business, et cetera, et cetera. And then we'll ask you some questions. So I assume Frank is a seasoned vet at this process, but
Nice way of saying an old man. Thank you. I'm going to actually let my client speak, but I just want to briefly introduce the fact that this is the old Gold Room BK.
good to
But
know.
I was there for a number of years, not that long, but a number of years. And we're basically taking over the space. I really think this application, my clients can speak for themselves. I'll jump in anytime I think they're in trouble, but I have severe doubts. It's a very experienced management team. Go ahead, guys, take it away.
Okay. Maybe I'll start. My name's Nicole. I'm originally from Canada. I moved to Brooklyn in 2010 to study at FIT. I've been in the bar and restaurant industry pretty much my entire adult life, over 25 years, in various different roles, serving, hosting, and I've been managing the Grafton in the East Village for the last 8 years or so. So this will be my first time owning a new business. I'm very excited about it. I met my partner, Annalise, at the Grafton. She's the one that hired me, actually. She was currently managing there, and then I took over for her when she took off on her maternity leave. So she has a lot of experience as well, and we've been working together for many years now. So we're really excited to open up a new bar and restaurant in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's been my home since I moved to New York in 2010. And my dream has been to open something specifically close to home. So I'm excited to be a part of the neighborhood and a part of the community. We really want to open very much a neighborhood spot that's inclusive, where everyone feels welcome. We want to reflect that with our hiring practices and with our warm and hospitable service. Our food, we're looking to do, we have a relatively small kitchen, so it's maybe a little bit of a smaller menu, but we're going to use quality ingredients and try to make it at an accessible price. what else can I tell you about? I've also trying to make some more connections. I currently reside in Bed-Stuy, but I've been spending a bit more time in the Prospect Lefferts Gardens area, where we are located, and I'm really enjoying the neighborhood. So I've reached out to some local organizations. I've been in contact with Brooklyn Pride in terms of connecting with them on making sure that we're creating a LGBTQ friendly and safe space. I've also contacted some block associations to see how we can really strengthen our tie in the community. Because for me, the most important thing is that we are bringing people together, that it becomes a place where people can gather, families, you know, different backgrounds, wherever you're from. So that's just a little bit about me. I don't know if Annalise, you want to say something?
Yeah, sure. So I moved to New York. I was from New Orleans, and then I spent a bit of time in Texas, and I came to New York in 2001, and I've been in the bar restaurant industry since I was 17. And like Nicole said, you know, we've been working together for a very long time, and she took over for me. And when I went off, you know, to have babies, and she's been amazing. She's incredible and very trustworthy, very reliable. She's got great instincts. And so, you know, this was a no-brainer to do this. And like, you know, I think that I think making a place that fits right in with the community, that just involves everybody and brings everybody together and gives people a place to socialize with, you know, is what we're looking to do. And you know, we've done that in the Grafton. And so there's a lot of experience there with integrating into the neighborhood and serving the locals and, you know, getting to know people and, you know, becoming like a family. So that's what we're, you know, hopefully we can recreate that. So, yeah.
And then maybe I'll just briefly introduce Elena. She's our chef consultant, and she can kind of maybe talk a little bit more about the menu.
Yeah. So I started my culinary career in New Orleans, actually. So I have and I'm from the South originally. So Annalise and I have that in common. I moved to New York in 2012 and actually met both Annalise and Nicole because I was working in various restaurants in the East Village and around the Grafton, and it kind of became my go-to place and has been a home for me since. So I now live in Crown Heights, not that far from where the restaurant is going to be. And so I was really excited to get involved in it. You know, I thought like the goal is to design a menu and to design a place that I would want to go to. And, you know, I look forward to having another spot in the neighborhood. So, you know, this idea of like creating a neighborhood spot is really in line also with the kind of food that I like to do, which I think, you know, is approachable, focuses on really good ingredients. I think like you can be really strong with a pared down menu, and that way you can cut down on food waste, food costs, which help you keep it affordable. You know, I think when you're pairing with cocktails and wine and that kind of thing, it's important to keep it tasty. And, you know, I just thought about like keeping it something that everyone, or, you know, the vast majority of people can eat. So, you know, there's something for every dietary restriction, dishes that can be modified for dietary restrictions. It's also designed to be doable in the kitchen. You know, we have a few different menus going on. You know, there's a late night menu that's a pared down version of the dinner menu. So the idea was to keep it like tasty, add something quality to the neighborhood, make it realistic for the space, and keep it affordable.
Can I ask a question? Primo,
Go for it.
does your community board provide a hyperlink for employment? for hirings?
So we can, what we can do is we can put a blast out in, our newsletters that go out. And so we would more than welcome that. Lots of applicants like to present hiring opportunities in our newsletter. And oftentimes there is an explicit goal set by our applicants around community-based hiring. So, bringing in folks from the surrounding zip codes rather than outsourcing employment is something that would certainly be meaningful, I think, in your presentation.
Community-based is meaningful to us.
Yep. So I think, please do, when you go to the larger community board, mention that. I think that, local jobs is something that our community board cares a lot about, as well as our community. So I think just to highlight a few other things in your application that may be questions in the future. You're on Flatbush, it's a bar, it's running relatively late hours for what we typically see, which makes sense given the location. But after COVID, we're not seeing that many 4 a.m. licenses, frankly. And so I think something that you probably want to get out in front of and probably speak to. There are going to be some hairs raised around 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. hours. Also, the Gold Room license that currently exists is a 2 a.m. license on Monday through Thursday. So this is asking for more time later in the evening. I think I'm pointing it out to you now because you're certainly going to run into that line of questioning at the next meeting. And then there's going to be questions around sound. It seems like you're paring back from what the Gold Room had there, which was they had live music and DJs, and it sounds like you're just doing digital music basically off of a phone or a tablet or whatever. And then it's good that you have security on Fridays and Saturdays. And so I think you want to highlight that too. So I'm just naming those things for you as items that commonly arise in our consideration. So those are notes that I would take for your next presentation when you speak to the larger community board, because that's where people's eyes go automatically is how late is this place going to stay open? How much noise is it going to create for the community? And how is that going to be managed? And are the business owners thinking about that actively?
Right.
See lots of nods from Tessa. Tessa, is there anything that you want to add? You're on mute, but you're coming off
No,
mute.
Primo, you're absolutely right. In your cautionary suggestions to this group, yes, late hours and noise is a concern, and community hiring is based for some board members. It's a bottom line. So I'm glad that the gentleman asked about it, because it's a baseline bottom line for many board members.
Yep. And it'll be a point of accountability in 2 years also when there's a reapplication for a liquor license. So while it's something we're saying now, it's also something that we're going to look more closely at in 2 years. So I mean, I don't really have any other questions. I think you all gave a nice presentation and overview, and the review or getting a little bit. Ms. Sanchez, I'm just going to mute you briefly. But Ms. Sanchez, it means that your audio works, which is great. So we'll hear from you shortly. Thank you for joining us. And do you have any questions for me or for this group? Again, from a process perspective, you've already heard me kind of give the overview. I don't think I need to give it again, but.
Well, I think what you're saying, Primo, if I may, is it's the hours and the potential noise.
Yeah.
Those are two items. The other,
and safety, right? So the security piece is tied to
well,
those.
we have the security in place, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
And this is a relatively small place, 1,000 square feet, but these are people who have said, even before they heard your concern, that they want to be part of the fabric of the neighborhood. So, I mean, we can always talk. We're not unreasonable people.
I think you should be in good shape. I'm trying to give you pointers. That's all.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
When
All
is
right.
the next meeting?
That is a question that Mia can answer. She knows the dates better than I.
General board meeting is scheduled Tuesday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
And the executive.
Zoom or live?
meeting?
It'll be on Zoom, but because it is our general board meeting, we'll be in the webinar format. So I'll send you guys panelist links. And you'll receive that information sometime after next Tuesday.
And then the executive committee meeting is when, Mia? Because that's actually the first step.
Yes, exec is next Tuesday, 16th. So after you guys formulate the agenda, I'll be reaching out to the SLA applicants after.
Is it advisable for us to potentially adjust the hours before we get to exec, or should we just deal with it at exec?
I would say if you're thinking about it, I'm not suggesting that you have to adjust the hours. I think if you wanted to adjust the hours, I think that's always something that goes a long way. And you can email with Mia and Mia will loop me in. And I would say you would want to do, if you're gonna do it, you should do it before exec.
Yeah, you can definitely just modify if you'd like and just forward it over. You guys don't have to attend exec. Primo will present the information to the executive committee.
So the prior operator had 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Is that it?
Yeah, they had 2 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and then sorry, let me just pull it up. They had 2 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and then they had 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. And I think just like that, that difference of like feeling like you might have folks up at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday.
Well, can I ask another question? What time do they close on Sundays? I didn't hear you.
Sunday is 2 a.m.
What if we just took the same hours they had before?
I think that would make things a lot easier.
Could you live with that, ladies?
I think so.
You can talk about it. You don't have to give me an answer now. You can
okay.
go and you can refurbish your application
Okay.
and resubmit it later. So feel free to have the conversation on your own.
And I presume that after a certain amount of time, we could potentially approach to change the hours, or?
Yeah, but it would be after 2 years. So it would be on your
The
next
renewal.
application.
The renewal. Okay,
Yes.
that's fine.
Okay, cool.
We'll talk amongst ourselves. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Thanks for coming. More to come soon, and we'll be in touch before the 16th if you want to make any amendments, and if not, we'll present this application as is on the 16th.
It's fine. Have a nice weekend, guys.
All right, you as well.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Good night, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, La Estrella, your time has come. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. You're muted. You just gotta press a button on your phone that says.
Now, you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm sorry about my phone having trouble. So I know my presentation. My name is Rosemary Nunes, and I have La Estrella del Castillo, located in 948 Nostrand Avenue. And I opened my restaurant since 2005, long time ago. So right now, improve my menu. I do another menu. The another kind of menu is about chicken sandwich and different kind of food that I have before. Sandwich, tacos, omelets, hot dog, something I put in different style, something quick for my customer, for my neighborhood. So we working like for all the family. So we try to continue my business and I try to improve to better, get better, My hours 8 to 10:30 every day. So Friday and Saturday is a little late, but it's no more than 1 o'clock. 12:30, 1 o'clock, that's all. And
Right.
Sunday 10:30, that's all, finish early.
And what was the location?
948 Nostrand Avenue, between Crown and Montgomery.
Great, and this is. Correct? Right, like your business already has a liquor license, yes?
Yes.
Okay, yes, it's a renewal. So, I mean, I don't have too many questions personally. It looks like a pretty straightforward application. Its hours are 8 a.m. to 10:30 on Monday through Thursday. It's Friday and Saturday until 1 a.m. and then on Sunday you have until 11 p.m. Looks like you got 10 tables, 34 seats, no live music. Do you have any outdoor space?
No.
What is it?
No outdoor space, right?
No.
Okay. Tessa, any big questions from you?
No, I mean, listen, I like the yuca and the bacalao. I've been there.
Thank you.
They're very friendly. They're respectful to people of color, which is a big issue for me. They've been there for a long time. They serve good food. The prices are reasonable. And, I'm a bacalao and catfish girl.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, neighborhood.
Good endorsement. I'm gonna have to come and try the bacalao myself.
Oh, yes, anytime.
You might see me this weekend. Well, thank you for coming and for presenting. I think just into, again, like I told other folks, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this application to our executive committee on the 16th, and then I'd encourage you to come back on the 23rd. You don't need to be present on the 16th, but I would encourage you to come definitely on the 23rd and just tell people like you just told people just about your business, and then the community board will vote on it, but I don't foresee you running into any issues based on your application.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank
Great. Take care. Have a good night. See you on the 23rd.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Our OCM applicant, are you able to speak to us? I'm not getting anything, Mia. Yeah, I'm not.
It really looks like his audio is off again. He may be running into the same issue Sanchez is running into, because it's not there. And I don't think he can hear us talking about his volume issue either.
Mia, could we call him?
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, Mr. Yali.
There's a second. Yeah, Mr. Yali is signed in as
You can
well.
hear us, but Mr. Yali, we can't hear you. Yeah. So can you drop out of the meeting and come back in? Just leave the meeting and come back into the meeting, and we'll see if your audio works then. Okay, so just exit the meeting and then come back. All right.
Right.
We'll wait for you a few minutes. Okay.
Officer Connors is still here. If he has an update, we can
Officer
let him
Connors,
update and go on his way.
update, please go for it.
In regards to the robbery that happened at 714 Flatbush, I'm still kind of having trouble finding if there was an arrest report generated. I've been looking this entire time. So no update from me just yet. I'm still gonna keep on looking into this though further.
Okay. All right. We'll wait. Mr. Yali, I would say just try to exit the meeting. I don't know if you can do anything administratively. Oh, okay. We got somebody joining the waiting room here. I'm admitting your other device. Okay. So Mr. Yali, you might want to take that one off mute, the one that just joined. Just bring it off of mute. I'll ask you to unmute and we'll see. I don't know, Mia, can you actually unmute anybody, or can you only ask? Oh, there we go. Can we hear you?
No, audio is not connected on either of his devices. He has to connect to audio on one of them.
Yeah, Mr. Yali, there's probably a button somewhere on there that says connect to audio. You just need to click that. Mia, I don't know if there's a phone number that we can call in.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know what to do, because you have to say join with join with audio.
Yeah,
and I don't know if he's seeing that.
I'm trying to search for a phone number on this.
Yeah, definitely. I have the number. Mr. Yali, if you can take this number down, you can actually call in. It is 1-646.
Give him a second. He's still looking for a pen. Officer Connors, I don't want to keep you here all night, so if you got to go save the city, go ahead and do that.
Okay, is Mr. Yali ready? Because I'm on another screen. Okay, Mr. Yali.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Take
Okay?
care, Officer Connors.
Good night.
Mr. Yali, the number is 1-646-558-9229. 8656. And to enter the meeting, the ID is 845-0087-2370.
All right, give us a call. Good luck.
Okay, let's try it that way.
Mia and Primo, thanks for being patient with him. He's been here. He showed up.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, no problem. My Optimum has been a little
Give
staticky
it our
too.
best shot. We're gonna give it our best shot. It's only been an hour-long meeting. You see, Tessa, you know we get stuff done in public safety.
Well, this is true. Here's the thing though, Primo. If he can't get in, then that means he has to wait until next month. So I'm glad that you and me are willing to overextend yourselves and give him every opportunity to talk with us.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. It's gonna take some time either way, just because we have to get our own questionnaire together, but I think we're probably it'll take us just a week or two probably to finalize the questionnaire. We've been working on it for a few months now.
Is Mr. Yali is it a reapplication?
No, so this is not a liquor license. This is Office of Cannabis Management. So this is for a
yeah, we want to talk to him.
it's new. All right, he's called in.
Yeah.
Is it a smoke shop or is it an actual dispensary?
It is.
It's for legal dispensary. It's an official application to the state.
Mhm.
And Mia,
Smoke
they're
shop-
coming through.
Smoke shops
They're
don't
coming
have
through
to
the.
apply to us. So we don't
They're
see.
coming through the community board now.
Yes, they're coming through the community board now.
Oh, so that's
The legal folks. Yeah.
That's an added responsibility for the public safety committee. That's good.
Is it good? For me,
Well,
Yeah, I don't know
extra
if it,
responsibility.
if it is. Also,
handle
how
it.
is it a public safety thing?
Well, I mean, I think because the SLA licenses come to us, it makes sense
Mhm.
for, the Office of Cannabis Management licenses to come to us as well. Just because we're kind of practiced at this point in hearing applications.
Right.
Okay.
The other thing though, Primo, you might have to assign a committee member to go check the place out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly, I think we should be as diligent as possible in the beginning of this process, but we also partner with the Office of Cannabis Management, which actually also goes to each of the locations and makes sure that they are following the license. There's only 9 in all of New York, or 11 or something, so
Okay.
they're being watched pretty closely, and to my knowledge, there are none in Brooklyn so far.
Okay. All right. So we want to talk to Mr. Yali. We certainly
Yeah,
do.
Mr. Yali is on the phone. Mia, can you explain how to unmute? You're muted as well, Mia.
How about that? Just give me 1 second.
It's like *9 or something, right?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's on *9 or *6.
I never call in, so I don't know.
Right. This is wild.
Oh, there we go, Mr. Yali. Finally. Okay, you're with us. So what we'd love to hear from you is a little bit about yourself, your business, and kind of what you're looking to bring to the community.
All right. Actually, I am representing Flatbush Exotic. I'm not the owner, but I'm the business manager for the owner. I do all his papers, all kinds of licenses that he needs to run the business and to be in order with the government, and that's what I do. I do all his paperwork. So I put in the application for the license for him.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about the owner and a little bit about the business that
the owner's name is Hesham Kasim. He's 29 years old. He actually got 3 stores, all of them on Flatbush. And he got the basic retail retail hemp license and a distributor license from OCM, and now he's trying to get the dispensary license. He has about 5 people that work in the store on 544 Flatbush. He has security, and he's looking forward to getting his license.
So this license is for a location that already has a hemp license and already has employees and is already operating a business?
Yes, he has the retail hemp license from OCM, and he also has a distributor license from OCM.
Okay, helpful to know.
I brought copies of the copies of the licenses to the community board, to Ms. Mayor.
Okay, yes, I have those.
Okay.
I have those in the packet for us. I think what would probably be helpful is to understand a little bit more about the vision for the store. I know that the Office of Cannabis Management has some pretty strict rules around what needs to be true inside of a business. There needs to be certain levels of security in order to run a dispensary, and you need to be checking IDs. You need to have the bud tender. They've come and presented to us, and so I think for us, it'd be helpful to understand a little bit more around your plans on meeting those standards that have been presented by the Office of Cannabis Management.
Right, and I've talked to him. I've talked to Mr. Kasim, the owner, and he is, going to have security. He has security now, but he's going to have professional uniform security, and they don't make no noise. They don't play no music or anything there, and people come in and out.
Okay, I would, if you have, does anybody else here have any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Primo, help me out. Mr. Yali, help me out. Do you sell
What kind of products are sold? So there's
medical? Are you selling medicinal stuff or recreational stuff, or both?
Recreational.
So this is candy, gummies,
right.
cookies,
Right.
candies,
Correct.
gummies, cookies, as well as the official.
Correct.
So we have a full menu that's been sent to us that includes
Okay.
of various types. It includes flower or actual bud of various types. It includes vape cartridges, disposables, live resin, pre-rolled joints, and CBD edibles as well. So it's a pretty comprehensive menu of options, and we have it.
Okay. And Primo, does it have anything medicinal there?
So this may be an area of not my expertise, but my understanding is that there is no real distinction between what is medicinal and what is recreational, except that anything that's medicinal needs to be handed out with a doctor's note, if you will,
Right.
and giving certain types of prescriptions for oils or what have you. But I'm not sure how the laws have changed around medicinal at this point, since recreational is now viable for everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I will look into the medicinal part.
Yeah, it's a good question, Tessa. One that we can ask. Yeah, maybe we can set off a chain around talking about the difference between the two. Does anybody else have any other questions? What I would offer and suggest, Mr. Yali, is that the owner themselves come to our next meeting.
Right.
Similar to SLA, we always like to speak to the owner themselves. We're
Right.
happy to hear, but we would like to also speak with Mr. Kasim. And then the other piece is you're going to have to wait a little bit of time for us to send along a questionnaire, which would be the next step in the process. And then we'd be able to review your questionnaire we might ask you to come back to our next meeting next month, just so that we can review that questionnaire and then ask you a set of questions. So I just want to set expectations that we're unlikely to take this to the executive committee on the 16th and then vote on it on the 23rd. We are likely to send you a questionnaire in the interim, and then I think you and Mr. Kasim should come to our next Public Safety Committee meeting once that questionnaire is completed, and then we'll take you through the process with the rest of the board. And the questionnaire is going to have a bunch of things similar to some of the questions that you faced tonight, but understanding a little bit more about the physical layout of your business, understanding a little bit more about Mr. Kasim's background. As you know, the Office of Cannabis Management also focuses on getting the formerly incarcerated or convicted around this as some of the first owners, and I think we'd like to follow that guidance as well.
Yeah, I think he falls into that category. He already went and did his fingerprint and sent it to OCM, I believe. He did that a while back.
Okay,
He
sounds
did.
good. So we look forward to meeting him. This has been a good introduction, but we'll send you some follow-up questions via email in the month to come and invite you back to our next meeting as well. Hopefully you
Which
can
is the 23rd? The 23rd?
No, not on the 23rd, probably next month in early June. We usually meet on the first Thursday, Mia? So it's probably like June 6th or something like that, but we'll confirm the date with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Look forward to seeing you again soon. And just so you know, this is the first application for a cannabis license that we've seen. So please forgive us if it takes us a little bit more time. We just want to make sure that we're getting it right. Okay.
No problem at all. No problem. I appreciate everything.
All right. Take care. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye. Okay. So that's pretty much, I think, everything that we need to cover tonight. We've seen some great applications and had a good conversation, and so just double checking our agenda here today. But yeah, all we were going to do is talk about community safety concerns, old business, but I'm the only committee member who's here at the moment. So that being seen, I will call for us to adjourn. Have a good
Second.
night.
Second. Thank you, Primo. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Appreciate y'all.
Good
Take
work,
care.
Primo.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Take care,
Ms.
everyone.
Hilton, could I call you tomorrow?
Sure thing. I'll be in the office 8:39.
Very good, thank you.
All right, speak to you then. Bye-bye.